What is up, Liam? How are you doing, brother? I hope everything's going good for you today. Stay dangerous. Good morning, my brother. Welcome in, everybody. Let's go. Early morning live. Papa stayed home today, chilling. Just figured I'd jump on, see what y'all was up to. Just getting up, moving around on this Monday morning. Getting the day started. What is up, Xavier? Good to see all you guys. I'm reading the news articles this morning. America, citizens under attack, bro. Everywhere you look, from a bar shooting in North Carolina to the Latter Day Saint Church and all the crazy stuff that's going on all around, guys. Physical therapy in a little bit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Wick. How are y'all doing today? Let's start the day off on a good note, guys. We alive. We woke up in four. What is up, M4? Welcome into the chat, folks. We got a lot of stuff to cover today, guys. Didn't sleep all night. What's wrong, M4? You found Waldo for him? Did you get the voice message I sent you about that? Wasn't tired. I got you, bro. I got you. On a good note, there were a lot of good lives you could have tuned into last night. Sounds like we had a lot of good lives going while I slept. Appreciate that, bro. Hang on. Yes, sir. Liam, I mean, like I said, we ain't much, man. We're just an ear to listen to, but you know what? We here, bro. We here if you need to vent. I know it's a struggle. I know that recovery's gonna be hell for you. But our thoughts and prayers are with you, brother. Sorry, guys, trying to get my daggum cigarette to quit running. It lit up all kind of crazy this time. But what are you guys up to this beautiful Monday? For most of y'all, started a work week. Everybody back to the grind. Trying to push it a few more days to make it till Friday again. Let's get through it together one day at a time, guys. One day at a time. We did the hard part. We woke up. Now all we got to do is make it through the day. Five folks in the chat. And guys, with everything going on in the country right now, man, make sure y'all paying attention to your surroundings. Make sure you're listening to what's going on around you. You're paying attention. You're using all your senses. You woke up, I've been up. Yeah, I got it, M4. M4, like it's hard to wake up when you ain't been to sleep yet. Bruh, Liam, fuck them if they are. You know what I'm saying? They can do all that shit until they need to dial 911. You know what I'm saying? Bro, Liam, even back in my teenage days when I ran the streets and I was on the other side of the law, I still had respect. I knew they had a job to do. I had a job to do. Sometimes I won, sometimes they won. That's just how it worked. But there was always a respect. Oh man, the kids enjoyed it. The kids enjoyed it. We watched Frozen 2, which I know it's old, but we watched Frozen 2. Um, and we watched that movie Ready Made Family, which is kind of what we've been studying in our foster parenting class. So we watched that together. We had a ball. M4 now, not quite. I did run on that side of the fence when I was in my teenage years, and then I woke up and got away from that kind of stuff. Um, but that picture that's on my shorts, what that is, if I get pulled over with my shotgun, what should I do? Comply. Don't reach for it. Um, if you're legal, I mean, they're gonna ask a few questions and just don't make any sudden movements. I always, when I get pulled over, I roll all four windows down before the officer comes up to me. I always have my driver's license and my gun permit. Even though my state doesn't require the permit, I still present it just to let the officer know, hey, I went through the trouble getting this background. You got nothing to worry about on this traffic stop. So I try to make the situation as comfortable as possible. If you fall asleep, bro, fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know y'all been up for a while. But now, back to the question about my past. That picture in my shorts, bro. We put the top secret on there as a joke, but that picture of me was an actual federal surveillance picture that they took from a wedding that I had done. The guy that I'd done the wedding for, nobody knew he was under indictment or fixing to be indicted. Nobody knew anything, and that was surveillance pictures that they took, and they had better wedding pictures than our professional took. So after he went to prison and come back, he got all the pictures. I asked, could I have that one? Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah, no kidding, right? Eastbound and down. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Liam. Too many people just handle traffic stops completely wrong. I mean, once again, just be smart about it and don't reach for shit. Don't be all moving around and fidgety and for God's sakes, don't get an attitude. If you were speeding, you were speeding. You know damn well you were speeding. So take your ticket like a man and roll on. If you're driving with no license and insurance, you know damn well you have no license and insurance. Look, that's the one thing I used to do when I was doing my criminal stuff when I was a teenager. If I did the crime, I was ready to do the time. If I got caught, I was ready. I didn't take nobody with me or anything like that. Luckily, I never got caught, and luckily, I got out of that life. However, I mean, if you're gonna be quote unquote in today's word a man, then do man shit. There's far too many people that get pulled over for a simple misdemeanor. They might get a ticket or they might go to jail and get a little bond or be held for 30 days. But then they turn around and do something stupid and turn it into a life sentence. That makes no sense to me. I mean, it's stupid. But anyway, I changed things up a little bit today. I got the shield and the diamond back in the middle there, as you see, the 9 millimeter and the 380. There sits the Citadel Boss, and there's the Savage Axis 270 just sitting there. And you see the little pink Cricket 22s. Aren't they so cute sitting back there in the safe? Oh, so cute. 30 grain Federal 270 rounds. And that's what the round looks like right there. That there's got Bambi's name all over it. It's just waiting for the season to start, and I'm gonna put it in Bambi. That is dinner come hunting season sitting right there. Oh yeah, yeah. Of course, Liam. That's how it works, bro. Your attitude determines a lot of that on traffic stops. I've had traffic stops where I should have got a super speeder ticket. And as soon as the officer walked up, I cut a funny joke or just say something, and he like, look, man, I'm gonna knock it down. I still gotta write you a ticket because the camera came on the moment I engaged the lights. I gotta write you a ticket, but we're gonna knock this down. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. People being stupid over some. Even if you got a warrant, bro. If it's you're only gonna go to jail for a little while, but if you mess around and shoot an officer or go on a high speed chase and kill somebody, now you're looking at a long ass time that you didn't have to do. You could have just took it like a man, went to jail, got it over with, come back out. And that's part of what's wrong with our country right now, man. People have no value in human life, none. That's like this fool that walked into that Latter Day Saints church and did what he done. I'm watching more about that, and that's crazy. I was waiting for the conspiracy theories to drop on that because the Latter Day Saint is most of it is compelled by Mormons. Mormons headquarters is right there by where Charlie Kirk was done in. So I looked for them to tie all that together, but they say the guy was a devout Democrat and hated Trump. So I don't know. My boy shot a big buck Sunday with his bow and arrow. Hell yes. Oh yes. Yeah, our gun season don't start for a few more weeks, and I don't do bow and I don't do black powder, so I'm waiting on gun season to start. I hear Bambi calling me. The woods is calling my name. I'm gonna be up on a tree stand waiting. What up, Mr. Wanks? Mr. Wanks, I've missed your last couple of lives because YouTube decided to turn off my notification bell, but I fixed that this morning because I went to everybody I was sub to and re-clicked everybody's. Some people I had to sub to again, so if you got to notice that I sub to you, it's because YouTube decided to unsub me for some reason. Yep, no respect. You're exactly right there, Savage. Savage, by the way, good to see you this morning. I'm gonna go. I need to get dressed and ready for school. Gotcha, gotcha. But I fixed it, Wank. So I'm back. I'm back fully notified whenever you go live. They let the guy out. Holy shit. But that's another thing, bro. Y'all do your job. You do what you're supposed to do, and then a liberal judge turns them loose. I mean, the same with these child touchers, bro. They get less time than almost anybody in most cases. And a lot of that comes from at a young age, this generation anyway, they were taught excuses, not accountability. Oh, you got ODD or you got ADHD, here's some medicine. Oh, you got a problem, here's some medicine. So instead of learning accountability for their actions, they were given excuses. There's plenty of people with all kind of physical and mental problems in this world that live a perfectly normal life and don't go around taking innocent people. And then, of course, they want to blame the inanimate objects like the firearms. Like I watched a video of a man who was headed to prison, and him and his wife were talking about guns and how they hate guns because it cost his daughter her life. Well, he's the one who shot his daughter because he was in a fight with his wife and decided to fire a firearm up in the air inside the house, and upstairs was his daughter. It wasn't the gun that done it; it was his stupid ass. You arrested the clown before. I'd have got that it looking motherfucker too. I'd have got him just because he looked like a clown. He'd be like, "You float. Nope, you go to jail." Well, they couldn't give me a badge in my local town. Three-quarters of this town would be arrested with the things I know. If I ran for sheriff, oh Lord, there'd be some scared people. Shit, Paul, you ain't never lie. You ain't never lie. There's some of them barely qualifying. Some that can't qualify. Um, Majorly out of shape, overweight, especially in this area. That's why most of the foot chases they can't catch nobody. But our GSP makes up for that though. Georgia State Patrol, they don't give a damn. Two people in the chat is what it says. YouTube, you bunch of jackasses. Miss racking a Taurus GC3 with the safety on. That's what I like about this Citadel Boss. I can sit there and cycle ammo through them. You know, I can sit there and cycle all the ammo out with the safety on. No problems. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yep. 100%. And it's good to have a good attorney general. Savage. That's one thing I can say. Having a real good attorney general helps the situation a lot. Because it goes both ways. You got bad people getting out far too easy, and you got good people who make one mistake that never get out. I've got a friend who made a mistake when he was a teenager, a older teenager, but he was a teenager. He's got 2 life plus 45, and he didn't cost nobody their life. He caught a drug offense, and it got him 2 life plus 45. To me, that was a little harsh. Getting this Coca-Cola down so I could go grab the Red Bull out the refrigerator and start my day with the Red Bull. But yeah, I figured I'd throw out a quick early morning live. Hold on, back up. I've had to defend myself 3 separate times in this life. I'm only 28. Yep, me too, brother. Lurking the past 10 minutes, radio out there lurking. Dog just called me. Pills got him. Ask him what he's doing. Shit, just lurking. Appreciate that, fellas, fellas, fellas. Because they are military cops. I was military, know at least 10% is. Yeah, guy feeling go for this coming from an infantryman. Yeah, oh yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. I agree, Savage. Just got off driving and listening. Just be careful, radio. I don't know if it's wet where you are, but it's damn sure coming down here. We got an all day supply of that wet stuff, so here in South Georgia. Yep. Popo. But that system's so overwhelmed too, though, Paul. I mean, you got folks that call 911. These Karens call over everything, so they're tied up with some Karen over there while somebody's getting the shit beat out of them. Sunny skies, damn radio. Wish we did, wish we did. But we need the rain, so let it go. Actually, believe it or not, my heart doctor tells me to drink 2 Red Bulls a day. Yeah, hopefully you won't be in that wheelchair for long, bro. Just keep that mentality of keep going, man. Push your body, push your body, push your body. You'll come up out that chair. My sister was in a wheelchair for 17 years and learned how to walk again. So just remember, keep pushing. Don't take no for an answer. There's going to be days you don't feel like doing it. There's going to be days you feel like giving up. Just push through to that next day, brother. Rain starts the day for us. I see that storm's turning, though. Like I said, that front that was coming through was going to push it offshore. Telling you, I should have been a meteorologist. I study the patterns of these storms, and we got fronts. And then I'll sit there and listen to these weathermen who seem to me like they're just begging for something. It's like they like misery or something. They're begging for something to happen so they can report on it. Y'all been having rain, yeah. We've had a few after. Well, this is Georgia, so we get afternoon showers, but we haven't had no like all day rain. But today is nasty. To the point I told the wife to take the kids, take the truck. This is her long day anyway. I didn't feel like sitting in town in all this rain until 4 p.m. So I told her just to take them. I'd stay home. I didn't really have nowhere to be today, so I'm going to hop on live here in a little while. I'll call the doctor, reschedule a doctor's appointment, and be good to go. Well, that's one of my biggest things I teach is self-reliance because, no way an officer can get to you as quick as you need them to. Know the basic CPR, know the basic stuff, how to stop a bleed, just basics. It don't take that long to learn. It's a lifetime skill. It can come in very handy. It did for me. Uh, I was sitting here one night sharpening knives, and my bulldog was laying like he always does in the bed, and I had set one of the knives down. I said, "Well, let me move this because if he jumps up, it's gonna stab me." Well, anyway, long story short, somebody knocked on the door. He jumped up after I moved the knife, went the opposite way. Knife went in the air, looked almost like a cartoon. Went in the air, did a couple flips, and landed in my foot. I sewed it up. Me and my wife sewed it up. I used skin glue. By the time I made it to the doctor, it was already starting to heal up. He just looked at me, told me we done a good job, and let it ride. Oh, I rode in the back of an ambulance when I was having my heart attack. Then it got worse when I looked behind me and noticed my wife was behind us in my vehicle. She had just wrecked one of the cars, and I noticed she was driving mine. I almost had a damn stroke while I was having a heart attack. I was trying to get the ambulance driver to pull over so I could tell her to turn the damn car around and go get her vehicle. Liam, I'm in South Georgia. I'm St. Simon's, Jekyll Island is what we're mainly known for. Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, which is FLETC. That's in my town. I'm right here by Kings Bay Naval Submarine Base. What's up, Brookside? Welcome in, everybody. Just joining. Double tap them screens. Come on, let's go. Sub to the channel. Go check out the brothers like Brookside, um, Savage, Liam, Paul Wick. All our brothers in here, man. Check out their channels. Sub to their channels. But the nurses, unless they actually know better. There you go. There you go. Well, Liam, do you got some good looking nurses at least? That's the one thing I liked about the hospital stay. Me trying to hustle for sponge baths. Funny story about my heart attack. My first baby mom was the head of the SICU, which was the unit that I was in after having the stents put in. And she's got a sense of humor, and we joke around. But the first time she came in there, she says, I'm your head nurse, and she had my file in her hand. I said, what are you doing? She said, well, I'm just putting you down for a vasectomy. And the whole time I was in there, she had all the nurses coming in. You ready for that vasectomy yet? I'm like, hell no. Tell that crazy bitch I want another nurse. Fuck around and end up neutered. 15 folks in the chat. Come on, guys. Y'all could do it. Double tap them screen. Light up that thumbs up button. Go check out the content. Sub to the channel. I appreciate everybody who take time out of their day to stop by and see old Papa and hang out for a minute. I got the lounge chairs sitting out. We can fuck around and catch a wet suntan today because it's raining. Y'all come on down here, whether it's virtually or in person. Enjoy the South Georgia scenery. I'll take y'all out and show y'all some alligators, some swamps. Knock, knock, knock. You can't sit still. Citadel Boss 12 gauge sitting there. Old Bambi Killer ready to go. Got them 130 grain Federals out. Boy, that's a pretty thing sitting right there. Let me see. Come in on my next live stream, and what I'll do is I'll drop my number on like the stream, and then I'll delete it. I'll give you my backup phone number. That way I'm not giving out my primary. But yeah, I'll get that number to you, bro. Well, I got into an ant pile going to the mailbox and my leg itching. Them ants tore me up. A yoke like 15 feet away from. Ooh, a yoke. All Star, what's up? Thank you for the comment and thank you for joining in the chat. Welcome in. Enjoy yourself. Go check out the content. Sub to the channel. But mostly to all the guys in the comment section, go check out their stuff. They got some fire content. Today I'm messing around with the Citadel Boss AR style 12 gauge, the Savage Axis 270, the Diamondback 380, the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, and the Federal 270 130 grain Bambi Killers. Welcome, right? Oh yeah, All Star. I'm itching at the bit right now, bro. We got a couple more weeks before season starts. I've already got the corn out. I've already got them coming feeding. I'm just waiting on them to say go. I got the rifle zeroed in. I'm ready. Grew up with alligators on the bayou. No alligator in my body. Swim the bayou all the time. We still do. Yes, sir. Ain't scared of no galliager. Not scared of a galliager at all. Rub them, turn them big some bitches over, rub their belly, they go right to sleep. Swamp puppies, yes sir. But Ryan has some gators and cat head biscuit. And a pair of alligator shoes and a belt buckle to match. But yeah, we love our deer hunting here in the South and our hog hunting. But yeah, if you got Yotes that close to you, you need to deal with them. You need to deal with them. Can't have that. If they coming that close to you, that's awful bold, bro. Can't be having them that close to us. No, sir. Sit still. Bust it wide open. Yeah, yeah. That it'd be like that sometimes, man. They'll get trained more and they'll start alerting you when something comes up. You have a go. Hi, Liam. I misunderstood what you said. Oh, you got da, 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 da. Hey, while you asleep, homie, I'm gonna grab that duck call. My dog knocked out, bro. Check it out. Excuse the messy room, but knocked out. Just knocked out. Lazy. Mama alligator and her babies. Yep. He just knocked out sleeping. Y'all can see the scar now. That's where that white blaze that goes around is actually a scar. If I could get it where you can see under it, it's a scar. They had him hanging from a tree when I found him. But now he don't know nothing about that kind of life. He lives in the house, sleeps in the bed. I always said if something happened to me and he had to go back to the outside world, he wouldn't know how to act. 11 folks in the chat. Double tap them screens, guys. Let's go. Let's get some views up in this beast today. Thank you for that like. Oh, now it took one away. You bastards. There it goes. Back to 11 again. But at least it didn't suspend my live like it did the first, like it did the past couple days. Oh yeah, he is. He. There's two buckshot wounds on the other side. What is up, Instructor Chanda? How you doing, guys? Go check out Instructor Chanda. You gotta see her stuff. She's got really good content. And if you haven't went and subscribed, you're missing out. I confidence. I'm just sitting around this morning. Took the day off. Figured I'd sit here in peace. The kids are going to school. The wife's going to school. It's quiet. I'm talking about the whole house is quiet. I'm not used to this. I feel like I'm on a vacation, man. I'm on holiday. I got the phone turned on do not disturb, so can't nobody call me asking me to go do anything. I don't even have a vehicle. I sent my wife with the vehicle this morning. So I am trapped at the house, went and bought all the supplies I need for the day. Got my food all ready for the day. Got my sodas, my Red Bulls, my cigarettes. I'm on holiday. Oh yes, I'm gonna enjoy. When I get off live, I'm gonna doom scroll YouTube. And if I get tired of doom scrolling, I'll turn on Paramount or Tubi or whatever might have something decent to watch. Or I might just turn on Forensic Files, my favorite program, and just let it watch me as I nap. Got us on YouTube. I always got you on YouTube. Y'all my people. And I can't tell y'all enough. I tell y'all every time I do a live how much y'all mean to me, man, because y'all were there at a time when I needed somebody. You know what I'm saying? I had nobody. When these three kids got placed with me and I couldn't leave the house and I had kids 24/7, so none of the human contact that I have other than y'all on YouTube, and y'all got me through. Because at the time, couldn't have just anybody coming to the house because, my grandkids are considered foster kids. So you can't just have anybody coming in your home. And I couldn't leave them and go anywhere because they had to be with me under my protective custody. So y'all are my people. Yeah, I'm on holiday mode for real, no cap. But yeah, I mean, but China, I've learned a lot. These classes they have me taking, for the fostering and stuff like that. One, it shows you how much fosters are needed in this country, or good foster parents are needed. There's so many kids right now that's in homes and places, and they're being bounced back and forth. They need stability, but it also teaches you how to deal with children with trauma, which I've really enjoyed because my 3-year-old and 5-year-old have a lot of trauma. Their father locked them in dog kennels and beat the hell out of them. So it teaches you a lot. Yep. Well, that's the thing. Confidence. If my daughter ever gets her stuff together, she'll get her kids back, or um, whatever on that. If not, I'll adopt them. But even if I adopt my grandchildren, I'm still going to open my home up. I'm authorized for three more kids, so I'm going to open my home up for three more before it's over. There in Georgia right now, there's 283,000 children as of 2025. 283,000 children in the system. Out of 283,000 children last year, only 2,200 got reunited with their family. That's a low number. So there's a lot of people out, a lot of children out there that just need a home and stability, just to know that somebody cares about them. And at 50, is it a lot of work handling a 5-year old, a 3-year old, and a 1-year old? Hell to the yeah, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. You've lived in Georgia for 12 years. Yep. I've lived in Georgia most of my life. I did live in Niagara Falls, New York for a while, Hendersonville, North Carolina for a while, and as a teen, I lived all over Florida. Um, Lived in Nashville, Tennessee, or Hermitage, Tennessee. It's same damn difference. But so, is it until 18? What happens with them in the month? Well, see, Paul, all too often, children in foster care, yeah, it's till they're 18 when they age out, but they could actually stay until they're 21. If they want the full benefits, like the free college and all that, they want to stay until they're 21. Um, but a lot of kids often go back and hunt down their parents, and a lot of times their parents are still pieces of shit. And sometimes the kids fall into the parents' ways. I know several families doing that right now. They got their kids taken when they were little because they were on drugs. The kids grew up, left their adoptive parents, went to their biologicals, and now they're on drugs. I mean, eh, all you can do is raise them right and hope they take to what you. Yeah, right now what I have, Chanda, I have my three grandchildren, my biological grandchildren, but they are now considered foster kids. They're considered placements in my home until my daughter works a reunification. If she cannot work the reunification, then I can legally adopt, and then I'm gonna have more. I'm gonna adopt. I'm gonna shoot to adopt more. Yes. Well, that's with insurance, Paul. But as far as the actual system, here in Georgia anyway, it's 21. But China, this isn't my first rodeo with them. I've played a part in probably over 100 kids' lives, whether it be just a because originally I was a what they called a emergency home. If they removed children and needed somewhere to put them from 24 to 72 hours, they'd bring them here, and I'd keep them safe until they found a placement for them. But then as when my daughter messed up, naturally I wasn't going to have my grandkids going into a stranger's home, so I took them into my home. And by doing so and taking these classes, I want to do even more. Yeah, Paul, it's a crazy system, and it's so overwhelmed to where like nobody can get their jobs done. Um, we're supposed to have all kind of people in and out of the home. I've had one caseworker. She comes once a month for about 30 minutes and she's out the door. That's no real time to find out if you're having problems with the kids or anything like that. It's got its challenges. It's got its challenges. And unfortunately, the way the system's set up, they try to handle every child the same way. Well, no child's the same, and not everybody can be handled the same way. So then you've got them challenges, and like um, the fact that you can use no corporal punishment. You're not supposed to be verbal and raise your voice at them and stuff like that. So you have to find new ways of reaching these children, and a lot of them, they're so used to being beat, they're so used to being screamed at, they don't respond to that. So you got to find a way to connect with them, make them feel safe again, earn their trust, and then you can start dealing with them. I could sit here and run lives for hours on just what I've learned over the past 6 months. And a lot of it works. My 3 year old is the one who took the most damage in all this mentally. They can't begin to talk to her and treat her until she's 5. However, some of the stuff I've learned in this class, I'm already putting into place, and I'm already seeing a difference in the way she responds. So even though she can't see a mental professional until she's 5, at least I can put it in place and get a head start and try to mitigate some of the damage. Appreciate that confidence. Like I said, it's just something I enjoy. Um, I enjoy sharing what I've learned with the youth. I enjoy going to like a lot of inner city youth that's you know got a propensity for gang activity. I love talking to them because I was in gangs. I love talking to them on how not to go that route. Yeah, Kwani. I try, bro, and I'm not saying I'm perfect by no means. I make a lot of mistakes. Like my situation with Marcel, my grandson, his first birthday party. I did what I thought was right, but then watched, when I did my next class and I watched the video, boy, it stomped all in my feelings and showed me how wrong I was. But what I done, it was his first birthday. His daddy wanted to do the party, so I let his dad do the party. Well, being he's never around the family, he's got to get used to him. I stood back in the corner, and even though he was screaming and crying and reaching for me, I was like, no, the parents have got to get used to doing this. So I stood back and let them, and he threw a fit that whole day. Well, he acted different for the next 3 days. And then when I started learning that children, they rely on what they know, and he knew me to be the security, and he was reaching for me, and I wasn't there. So that violated our trust. So I had to learn, hey, I got to step in, calm him down, then I'll give him back to you. So what I done was what I thought was right was actually wrong. So it's learning, learning. Yep. Well, see, Paul, that's interesting because, and this is stuff you learn that I learned in these classes. Even lady who comes and supervises the visits, when she saw my study guide yesterday, she asked me could she have a copy, and I went and copied all 300 pages, and that's her job is to be a social worker. And when she saw that the new information that we're training under, she wanted a copy so she could put it into place. I try to be, Quani. I try to, and that's something they teach you. Get on their level because the way a brain works when it's first being developed, your brainstem controls your heart rate, blood pressure, and it acts as a filter. So if something's coming towards you, you got fight, flight, or freeze. That is the three main responses. Some people try to fight, some people try to run, and some people just go to their own spot in their brain and they just lock up mentally. They shut down. Um, and that's controlled by the lower part of your brain, which is the first place that receives information. So, for instance, when my grandchildren first got here, the way I walk, um, it would they would flinch. They were so used to a man walking up to them and hitting them, they would flinch, and that would break my heart. But I know now that was their brain, and that's where a lot of information stops because it's in freeze mode. It's trying to protect itself, so it shuts down so it don't go to the upper part of the brain, which controls reactions and things like that. So I mean, there's a lot of good information in this stuff. But it's definitely because, and like I told my instructors Thursday when I had my class, told them, I said, man, when I first went into this, I went into it half-heartedly because I took it as offense. I'm 50 years old. I raised my children and I raised other kids. Why I need a class to teach me how to raise children? After I'm 3 quarters of the way done, I graduate this class the 10th of October. I cannot emphasize how wrong I was. This class is so amazing. You're never too old to learn. To the point when I'm not on YouTube, holler at y'all. My video have gone from all my gun content that I watch now to training videos for kids with trauma. And I'm really thinking about throwing some courses in for early childhood development, and maybe going after a degree in early childhood development and maybe becoming a social worker. That's something I'm really thinking about doing because I'm retired. I've had several successful businesses. I'm retired. Why not? And that's what it's all about, man. Be humble. Nothing wrong with being in a state of learning. You're exactly right. Can you send it to Indonesia? No, unfortunately, I can't. I don't sell anything. It's all collection. I collect. Everyday carry, what's up? But I do. I'm really thinking about, pursuing the early childhood development classes and maybe getting a degree in it because I see the difference it can make with these grandchildren of mine. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Knowledge. Um, and we need more people out there that's willing to share that knowledge. Don't gatekeep it. Share it out. Because once again, if I can say something or do something that can keep somebody from going down that path, then no, it don't matter if I get 10 million views or 5 views. If it changes one person's life, that's all that matters. You've done your job. You've succeeded in life because you changed one life who's going to grow up and raise their kids, which will change no telling how many lives. And sometimes, man, that's all somebody wants is somebody just to be there. Somebody say, "Hey, I understand where you are." But these classes also teach you stuff that can be used in our adult everyday life, like how to basically de-escalate an argument, how to calm somebody down by just merely looking them in the eyes and saying, "Hey, I know what you're feeling," acknowledging the fact that they're upset. You got to first calm them down, then you can start to engage with them. 8 folks in the chat. EDC, what's the weather like in Cali today? You got rain or you got shine? We got rain. And then I come on here and rant to you guys about some of the stuff I learned. But hey, it's fun. I'm just lurking. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be doing that here in just a little while. Paranoid can grow into a paranoia as a result of me spinning my head quick. Literally because I was. Yep. 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 Oh, that's right. I don't know why I said Cali. EDC, forgive me. I said Cali. I meant to say Texas, bro. I know you're in Texas. I ain't had my Red Bull yet, EDC. Reason why I was asking you, was it rain or shine? Because that front's coming across, and that's what's pushing this hurricane back out to sea. So I didn't know if it was still over y'all or if it had left y'all and was coming this way. I don't know why the hell I said Cali, bro. I done insulted Texas by calling it California. Hell no. Y'all Texans, please don't come after me. I didn't mean to. Larry's Outdoors, what is up? Yeah. Oh, you're from Cali. But still, I know you're in Texas. I don't know why I said Cali, bro. I really don't. Oh, the kids are definitely a passion, confidence. I enjoy working with them. Um, I always have. Even in ministry, I enjoyed the younger people. Um, I enjoyed the ones that were at high risk, the ones nobody else said they could handle. You know, I do enjoy it in Florida. Open carry shit. Yeah, you can open carry. I still suggest getting a gun permit. Only reason I do is because if you travel to other states, and even if they're constitutional carry, if you're not a resident of that state, that constitutional carry does not apply to you. It applies to the residents of that state. So having a permit that's recognized in what 30 something states really helps. And I know people say they don't want to go on a list. Well, we were already on a list. We got a social security number, you're on a list. Plain and simple. That's unfortunate, but that's the way that it is. Yeah, I keep my permit. This one that I've got now, which is my second one, expires in 27. I'll then go get my new one, and then it'll last 5 years or 10. It was 10 years. I think it's 5 years. But I'll keep my permit. I travel too much, or did before I got these kids, and hopefully soon I'll be able to travel with them. Once we get through this third court date, and they're placed with me permanent. They do what's called a permanency hearing, and they're placed with me permanent. Then I could travel with them. Yeah, it's nice to have the permits. And China, like me, if I get pulled over, I said it earlier, I roll down all my windows. Even though I'm not asked when they walk up, I hand them my driver's license and my gun permit. And 90% of the time, they'll tell me, no, I don't need that. And I'm like, hey, I was just trying to let you know, I went through the background. I went through all this trouble, so you ain't got to worry about this traffic stop. And it generally lightens the mood, and we joke, cut up, whatever. I don't open carry per se. I do carry outside the waistband, but I always wear like a baggy shirt, and I keep it under a shirt. As far as just wide open carry, I just don't do it. But hey, people want to do it. Paul, there's a lot of good training videos you can watch on YouTube, man, and Google. There's a lot of good videos out there on training, from clearing a room to situational awareness to um, there's a lot of good info out there. EDC done one, Chanda's done one on your surroundings and knowing where you are, and I'm fixing to do one about parking lots. Far too many people, because I spend a lot of my time in the parking lot just sitting around. Like I said on my last live, I'm always waiting on somebody. I'm waiting on the wife to get off. I'm waiting on daycare. I'm waiting on somebody to pull up. I'm always waiting, so I'm in a parking lot all the time. And I see people all too often not paying attention. Simple things like drive around and just kind of look at what's in the parking lot before you get out your car. Once you get out the car, know what surrounds you. Know if there's a crowd standing over there. Kind of take your ears for a minute and listen. See if people's arguing. See if people's sounding like they're combative. It's simple things that can keep you from getting into a situation where you have to grab one of these tools. And that's something that I think needs to be pushed more. Is know what to do before you have to grab one of these. Know what you can do to keep from having to grab one of these. We all like them. We all carry them. But if you're a human, that's the last thing that you ever want to grab. I don't want to have to use that, other than deer hunting, of course. Um, but I don't want to have to use and take somebody away. It's not a good feeling to live with. I can promise y'all that. We made it to the hour mark, folks, and it still hadn't ended my live yet, so we doing all right. Maybe my changes I did to it fixed it. I had to go delete a lot of mods. Um, I had mods on my channel. The only thing I can figure is when I was a pastor, my wife used to do the YouTube for me, and she would record me preaching. Only thing I can figure is maybe she had added some mods years ago. That was back in 2013, 14, and 15, before the heart attack. So, but I had mods on there that I didn't know who they were. Never see them in none of my lives or anything. I was like, well, I'm gonna get rid of these folks. So I got rid of a bunch of that, cleared out a bunch of junk, and my YouTube seems to be running. It don't seem to be stalling out. It don't seem to be doing the stuff it was doing. I see 3PO. What is up? No, I don't go bear hunting. Not me. Nah, we don't have much bear here in South Georgia, bro. But I ain't gonna look like old boy off of Legends of the Fall. Ain't no one-toed bear gonna get me. Think about them folks every day. Yes, sir. Sure do. South Georgia. If you know where Jacksonville, Florida is, I'm in Georgia, right above Jacksonville, right below Savannah. I'm dead in the middle. Little town called Brunswick, Georgia, which is home of St. Simon's Island, Sea Island, Jekyll Island, the Federal Law Training Center, the Ahmaud case that was all in national news a few years back. Right, right. That is a very big misunderstanding. Oh yeah, I'm out there for real, for real. You live the opposite way. Well, see, my daughter lives in Valdosta, Georgia, and then she's a school teacher there. And when her fiance finishes school next year, they're going to build a house up around Kennesaw, up in the Atlanta area. They've got property up there on around Kennesaw Mountain, so they're going to build a log cabin there. And then if I can ever talk my wife into retiring, that's where I want to go. You just said it. Around the Duluth area, the Cartersville area, somewhere in that area, I want to build a home on a mountain up there, and that's where I want to retire to. Gwinnett and Hall counties. Yep. I lived there as a teen. I lived all over Marietta, um, Winder, Georgia, Cumming, Georgia. I lived all through that area. All right, Larry. Appreciate you stopping in. Snellville. Yep. Snellville's a beautiful area. It's grown up a lot lately. Used to Snellville was real peaceful, real laid back. It's grown a good bit. But one of my favorite places is Helen, Georgia, and Anaruby Falls. But all that because of it being a big tourist area is so expensive. Come back across Corona Mountain towards like where they have the Cabbage Patch Hospital, somewhere around that area, and build something there. That'd be nice. Dahlonega, even, yeah, Cumming, Georgia. Yep, Dahlonega, Georgia. Yeah, there's some big houses up through there. Oh, that factory was the bomb. I don't even know if it's still open, but I've got pictures still where I took my daughters there for the first time, and they had a ball because they run it just like you would think a hospital was. You know, you go in and then they take you through the little nursery where the cabbage patches are being born, and then they take you to the adoption side. And you can see the ones you want to adopt, and yeah, it was a cool little experience. Then they got their little store. You go in and spend far too much money, and you walk out of there after dropping about a stack on damn baby dolls. Yeah. Then we'd always shoot back to Atlanta, and I'd go to Stone Mountain and go sit on top of the mountain. That was always my place to go reflect. I'd get on top of Stone Mountain, get on that rock right there on that ledge, and I'd sit there. All the pictures you see of me on my shorts and me sitting on that ledge, it looks like the camera's 5 miles away. That's because my wife would stand like in the middle. Wasn't no way she was going near that edge. I'm like, you're not gonna fall. There's a big ass fence 100 yards down that would stop you if you slipped, but she wouldn't walk nowhere near it. So all the pictures of me on the top of the mountain is her so far away. Yes, it is. I love North Georgia. North Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, anywhere there's a mountain, I love it. Um, got a bunch of pictures from Lookout Mountain. Me standing in front of the cannon looking like I'm firing the cannon. I love me some mountains of Appalachia. I love, the Smoky Mountains, the Blue Ridge Parkway, all that shit. Yosemite's a place I want to go. I see. That's one of the places I want to visit. That, and I've been almost everywhere but California. Um, One place I have not been is the Grand Canyon, and I got to go check out the Grand Canyon. I don't like Tennessee. I hear a lot about them being big. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Yeah, I think a lot of that's died off everywhere now. Most for the most part. For the most part, I'm sure it still exists everywhere, but they don't dare open their mouth too much. That's like the county I live in right now. It was known for that. But I wish a motherfucker would show up in my damn yard with a cross and try to set it on fire. I got a whole damn house full of mixed babies. I wish they would come with some racial shit in my yard. I'd show y'all something. Yeah, Forsyth. Well, see, that's one of the areas, and believe it or not, China, that's not as bad anymore. It used to be a sundown town. It literally had a sign as you went in. I remember as a teenager, it went as you went in that city that if you were black, don't let the sun set on your ass. But it wasn't only blacks; they didn't like strangers. Period. Um, Forsyth didn't like outsiders. Damn, Xavier. Well, that's like Valdosta, Georgia. There's signs where there was a big massacre there back in the early 1900s. So it used to be very, very racial. Never dipped so fast out of a small town in my life. I hear you. But see, even as a kid, man, I never understood that because when my own family turned their back on me, a colored family took me in. You know what I'm saying? So I always seen things different through a different set of eyes. My safety was in another race. To me, my people let me down. My people turned their back on me. Them people kept me out the streets. And that was always my way of thinking. So when my kids were born, I taught my kids not to see color, not to see race. And that was just how I taught them. what used to get me, and I love my mother-in-law. She passed away a couple years ago, but I loved her, but she was so blind in a lot of ways. She wasn't racist per se, but she was raised the old ways, and she used to go on her tangent about um, people sticking with their own race. And I'd look at her and I'd piss her off every time. I said, "But you're married to a Filipino. What's the difference?" And she'd shut up. She'd be so damn mad because she wouldn't know how to respond. Like, you're married to a Filipino and trying to preach sticking with your own people. What the hell kind of stuff is that? Yeah, yeah. It's all about how people treat you, man. And that's what it is. It's all about how people treat you. There's good people in every culture. There's bad people in every culture. I've got a lot of good friends that are from India that are absolute great people. However, my two granddaughters' daddy is a piece of shit that don't deserve to breathe air for what he done to these kids. Um, but there's people in every culture. That's like a lot of people get stuck on this immigration thing. If y'all knew the true story about immigration, um, a lot of people that are here just want to go back home, but they can't. They stuck. Their families paid these damn coyotes to smuggle them over here. Now they've got to pay back all this money. The coyotes are always in their home nation, wherever it's from, basically dunning them for more money, more money, more money, and they can't get back. They're stuck. If they go back, they'll kill them. Um, so a lot of them don't want to be here no more than the people don't want them here. They're just trying to get by, and then they get these jobs, and these jobs know that they're illegal. They hire them, and then they don't pay them like they're supposed to because who they gonna tell? Are they gonna tell? Um, are they gonna go to the labor board? No, because they're not legal. So they get taken advantage of in a lot of ways, man. And even their own people take advantage. They go rent these houses. They'll put 15 of them in a house. Say the house is 800 a month. Instead of splitting it up to where nobody's paying hardly anything, no, they'll put 15 in a house, charge them all 800 a month, and they'll profit off of it. That's the kind of stuff that goes on. There's whole WhatsApp phone numbers that you can go to the WhatsApp, and it'll tell them anywhere in the country to go find a job. And what they're doing, they're just trying to get them to come there so they can take advantage of them. I learned a lot in my time working with the Indians at the Indian store, man. I've seen a lot. Yep, it is. It is, bro. I've seen it. I mean, 100%. I tell people all the time, if I were to write a book, somebody try to assassinate my ass within 3 days because I learned a lot of stuff that I really shouldn't know. Ah, 14 people in the room. Hour 14 in. We doing good, guys. But unfortunately, I'm fixing to have to roll because it's about time to make my phone calls to the doctor. They want me to come to second for my every 3 month checkup, but I can't because I have school that day. Yep, I got to run, guys. It's 8:30. I got to call this doctor. I will see you in a little while. Appreciate everybody, man. I love you guys. I can't say that enough. Y'all stay strapped. Keep one and two. Always pay attention to your surroundings and always be blessed.